Yeah.
Ma'am, you can continue. Thank you.
Yes. So, ma'am, can we start?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. So hello everyone and welcome to this webinar on cancer prevention and healthy lifestyle and COVID-19. So before starting the program, I would just love to give a brief introduction about the organization, and I would like to share with all of you that what we are actually doing as an organization with the cancer patients. Okay?
Ma'am, I think there is some disturbance. I think your phone and laptop both are near. That is why some disturbances, noise disturbances is coming.
Yeah, just let me check. Is it okay now or is it still there? I'm just in the meantime, I'm playing the video for all of you and I'm checking my settings.
Now it comes.
दस से 12 लाख कैंसर के पेशेंट लोगों को कैंसर डायग्नोज होता है.
You know, a doctor has about 4 minutes to talk to somebody, or maybe 3 minutes, or if you are in luck, then maybe 7 minutes or 10 minutes. But what can you gauge about an individual in 3 minutes or in 4 minutes?
I would see thousands of people going through a similar journey as mine without any of the resources that I had. I thought that I really need to do something which will bring this hope of life back into them.
I share this with you with immense pleasure that Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer has been certified as a great place to work. It is a testimony to the pride and passion with which the whole team of Sanjeevani works towards enriching the lives of cancer patients.
So this was a brief about our organization and what we do. So she is our founder. Our founder is Mrs. Ruby Ahluwalia ma'am. And Mrs. Ruby Ahluwalia is a senior bureaucrat. She's an author, she's an artist, and the founder of the non-profit organization Sanjeevani Life Beyond Cancer. She's a strong finance professional with an MBA in finance from Hyderabad with a rich experience in project finance and public-private partnership. She joined the civil service in the year 1986 and is currently serving as the principal financial advisor to Central Railways. She has reached out to thousands of souls in selfless acts of charity and care to cancer patients. Her various interests and achievements have earned her the Changemakers Award from Grant Thornton Sabera and the Exceptional Contribution in Governance Award meant for the bureaucrats for their outstanding work for the society. So not only this, but our founder, Ruby Ahluwalia ma'am, is a cancer victor herself. She was diagnosed with triple negative stage cancer. She survived that. She's a survivor. She's a victor. And then when her journey started of cancer, she realized that cancer is not only a disease that breaks you down financially, but it has more add-on to it. Not only financially, but mentally as well. So she started this organization to help the cancer patient to provide psychosocial support. And our programs are curated according to that. As we work with the underprivileged cancer patient, it does not mean that we wait for a person to get cancer. That is the reason we work on 3 genres of cancer. That is life before cancer, that is the prevention part, life during cancer, that is our wellness thing that we do, and life after cancer, that is how we can rehabilitate a cancer patient. We continuously work on that, and our programs are exactly based on those. The first program that we run is hand-holding and counseling initiative inside the hospital. We used to help the patient from very beginning, like how to fill up the form, how to interact, how to, from where they will get financial help, free lodging, free fooding. We used to provide knowledge about everything. The next program that we run is Satori. It is a wellness program because cancer is not a disease that will happen to you in a day and then you will be immediately recovered. No, even if you take treatment, there are high chances that you might again get this disease. Why? Because at the first place only we didn't understand that why did it happen to us, right? So we need to work on, we also work on that. And right now, due to this pandemic, we are unable to run this program in the physical center. So we are doing it online as well. And that is totally free of cost. And in this program, we bring different professionals, experts in the field of nutrition, yoga, EFT, sound healing, then art-based therapy, dance movement therapy. So these are some of the therapies that we used to provide to our patients. The next program is CanSarthi. It is a skill development course. So basically a patient or their attendant or anyone who wants to work in the field of cancer care can do this course. It is a course of 4 months, which comprises of 2 months practical and 2 months theory. After doing this course, after passing out the examination, one becomes a certified oncology caregiver, and then they can get job in home care agencies, in NGO sectors, and also in the government hospital sectors as well. The next program that we run is Can Chetna. It is an awareness initiative that we do with different colleges, communities, then any kind of public domain. So today's program is also a part of Can Chetna. The next is Can Ahar. It is providing nutritional supplement to the cancer patient, women cancer patient. So basically we do not provide breakfast, lunch or dinner, but addition to that, the things that are required to boost your immune system. One such example can be like dry fruits or nuts. These are the things that we provide. And also we provide online telephonic counseling to the cancer patient as well. So if you want to know more about our organization, you can feel free to visit us at our official website page, that is www.sanjeevanilifebeyondcancer.com. And if you know any cancer patient who need our help, please feel free to contact us at our helpline number, that is 8691 000 800, 8691 000 801. So now, as I said that we are an organization who primarily deal with cancer patient, underprivileged cancer patient. So our head office is in Mumbai, and in Mumbai we are working in Tata Memorial Hospital and Acterec. And apart from that, we are working pan India: Wardha, Jaipur, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Surat, Guwahati, Goa, Pondicherry, Bikaner, Rishikesh, Nagpur, Hyderabad, and Visakhapatnam as well. By the end of this year, we are also planning to start in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, and other states respectively. So today in this program, we are going to learn about 3 aspects of cancer awareness. First will be how to reduce the probability of getting cancer, which means how can you protect yourself from being a victim of cancer. Okay, the second is early detection, how you will understand that your body is sending you some signal, because cancer is not a disease that will happen to you in a day. It grows over years in your body, and you need to understand that what are the signals you need to continuously communicate with your body. And the third is make a substantial difference in a person's life diagnosed with cancer. So basically how to deal with cancer patient, we will also discuss about that. So now when we discuss about prevention of cancer, so before preventing the disease, it is very, very important for us to understand how to know about the disease, because until and unless you don't know about a disease, that how it happened, why it happened, then how can you prevent it, right? So let us just understand what is cancer. Cancer is the growth of irregular, uncontrolled, abnormal cells anywhere in your body. And we have learned in our 8 to 10 standards in our biology classes that our entire human body is made up of cells and tissues. And cancer is exactly a disease that happens in the DNA of your cell, which means cancer might happen anywhere in your body. It might happen to anyone. It will not see any gender, or it do not sympathize with any age group. You might be a 1-month baby, you might get cancer. A young boy or a girl who is just 25 or 26 years of age might get cancer. Like a middle-aged person or an old-aged person, anyone might get cancer in their life. And we as an individual, everyone is nowadays born with cancer cells present in their body, but our immune systems is so strong that it kills, the immune cell kills the cancer cells from our body. So now we are very lucky in some context that our cell used to renew every 7 to 8 years, and the old cell used to die and they get settled down in our body. So when the old cell die, they do not harm your body. But there are 3 leading factors of cancer. If you're following these 3 leading factors, then your dead cells might get triggered and they might form tumors or lumps in your body. So this is how you need to understand. So now when we talk about 3 leading factors, what are the 3 leading factors? First is increase of toxicity, when your body becomes too much of toxic, acidic. Next is low immune system. We all know that immune system act as a defense mechanism in our body against lots of viruses. So the stronger your immune system is, the lesser diseases you will get, and the weaker your immune system is, the more diseases you're going to get. And the third is unhealthy lifestyle. If you're not eating properly on time, if you're not sleeping properly on time, if you're engaged in any sorts of tobacco related substances, then you might be at a high risk factor. So now let us discuss about what are the 3 contributing factors that boost our immune system, because cancer has been proven as the second leading cause of death globally, and it is scientifically proven as the lifestyle disease. So there is no such medicines or vaccination yet that any doctor will tell you that take this injection, you will not get cancer. Not at all, because no such medicine or vaccination is there yet. So the only thing what we can do is we can boost our immune system. So now how we will boost our immune system? So there are 3 factors that makes your immune system strong. First is the thought process. Thought process is how positive or how negative you are about things in your life. So most of the time what we do, we are always negative, right? Nowadays we hate people, we are jealous about people, we try to bring people down, we are always complaining about things in our life. So try to be always positive, because when you have these negative emotions in your body releases cortisol hormone, that is the negative hormone that makes your body toxic. So it is very, very important that you should always think positive. But an individual cannot be happy all the time. It is okay to cry, it is okay to be depressed, it is okay to be sad, it is totally normal. But do not allow your emotions overpower you. The moment your emotions overpower you, then what happens? Your body becomes toxic. So try to always think positive. Try to think that how to, grab the opportunity, no matter how the situation is, but try to find out positivity out of it. The next is nutrition. Nutrition is what are you eating, at what time are you eating, and with what intent are you eating. That is very, very important. So whenever you start your day with 2 glasses of water. For the entire day, drink lots and lots of water. You can make your water very interesting. You can make it detox water. So there are 2 types of detox water. One is the fruit infused, other one is the vegetable infused detox water. So you will get this video as well in the YouTube. And the second thing you need to know is include 60% of raw fruits and colorful vegetable in your meal. So your meals should be a portion. Kind of 2 times you can go for cooked food, that is your lunch and dinner, and 2 times you can always go for raw and colorful fruits and vegetables. So for breakfast you can have fruits always, and for lunch, before your lunch, have a plate of raw salad. That is very, very essential for your body. So now when we talk about nutrition, most of the time what happens, we eat the right food at the right time, but we engage ourselves in lots of conversation. We could keep on talking, we keep on watching videos, or we will keep on talking to someone, or keep on messaging, we will watch television, and we distract our mind. So when you're distracting your mind, you are not getting the essential nutrition from the food. So whenever you are eating, always focus on your food. That is very, very important. The next is breathing. So breathing is a very, very natural pattern. Okay, so why am I saying it is very, very important and it is natural? Because we all know that to survive we need oxygen, but then we just breathe till our chest. So when we are breathing till our chest, the lower organs of our body do not get the proper oxygen, and as a result we might attract lots of diseases in our body. So try to dedicate 2 hours always for deep breathing. So maybe half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon. So try to keep on breathing in. So when you're breathing in, your stomach should always get outside, and whenever you're exhaling the air, the stomach should come in the normal position. That is the right pattern of breathing. So why am I talking about fruits, vegetable, and oxygen so much? Because these 3 things contain alkaline. As in a toxic body, you might get cancer, but in an alkaline body, it will help you to prevent cancer. So now, when I was talking about my founder, people think that if you're in the 3rd, 4th stage of cancer, you are never going to survive. Okay, people generally used to think that way. So our founder is a live example for that, where you could see that she is all okay now, and she had made few immunity videos for all of you, and I'm playing that video for all of you.
These days there is a lot of emphasis as to what kind of food we are eating, whether it is healthy, it is not healthy, it is organic, it is not organic. what time are we eating it, then we are talking of superfoods these days. Here I want to put a little more emphasis on this, that we get our energy not merely by the food that we eat, but the food that we digest. Now, if what is the most important thing is how our food is getting digested, then we need to understand as to what are those factors I need to take care of, which will keep my body environment in a state that my digestive system works well, and the food that I eat gets properly digested, processed, absorbed in my system. So one of the foremost things is that I need to keep my gut clean. To keep my gut clean, I need to give it proper nice rest for 14 to 15 hours. During the day, we should have food, of course, which is healthy, which is light, which is not too greasy, because that is the food which gets digested. The third thing is that when we feel hungry, then there is a belly fire which is there, which helps the secretion of the important juices which will help us digest the food. So this fire needs to be kept on. What happens at times is that when we have water during our meal times, or if we have very cold water just before the food time, or if we have water just after finishing our food, then this fire goes off, which makes it difficult for our food to get digested. So we need to take care that when we sit down to eat, we do not have any water during our meal times and for at least half an hour to 45 minutes after the meal time. The other thing which is very important is that when we are eating, what kind of mental state we are in. Because when we eat in a state of anxiety, stress, anger, tension, then what happens is that all these negative emotions, they basically are generated out of that basic emotion of fear. And when body recognizes fear, it declares a state of emergency inside, and it starts preparing itself to deal with this emergency. Therefore, whatever food we may eat with this kind of mental state will get rotten and it will turn into acid instead of the nutrients being released and absorbed in the body. So when we sit down to eat, if we sit down in a happy and a peaceful state, then the digestive juices are adequately released, the food is properly churned, the food is properly chewed, and the food is then properly digested and absorbed in the system. This is very important.
तो आप लोगों ने आजकल नोटिस किया होगा कि कैंसर बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ता जा रहा है. एक समय ऐसा होता था that we used to see the cancer cases only in films. But today आप लोग जितने लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं
उनमें से सभी ने कैंसर को किसी ना किसी तरह से एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा, या तो आपके कोई रिलेटिव, आपके कोई फ्रेंड, आपके कोई जानने वाले, या प्रॉबेबली इन योर इमीडिएट फैमिली। तो इतना ज़्यादा जब कैंसर बढ़ रहा है तो इसका ये समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि इसके रीजंस क्या हैं और हमको किस तरह से अपनी केयर लेनी है ताकि हम इसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी अपने लिए और अपने डियर वंस के लिए वी कैन रिड्यूस। और अनदर थिंग यू मस्ट बी वंडरिंग इज कि ये कॉन्सेप्ट मैं क्यों इंट्रोड्यूस कर रही हूँ आपको। सो द रीज़न इज दैट मैंने पर्सनली कैंसर के एक्सपीरियंस को अपने आप फील किया है, उसकी जर्नी को कवर किया है, एंड this journey which was there for me was as painful as it is supposed to be, but during this journey there was also a lot of self growth which happened because I tried and I made that effort to look inside and understand as to what is happening in my body to bring me to this kind of a state that where my own body cells have started revolting against me. So when our thought process is restrictive or when our perception is negative, then it is stored in a similar manner in our brain. और हर समय जब वैसा ही कोई एक्सपीरियंस हमारी लाइफ में आता है तो हम उसी तरह का रेस्ट्रिक्टिव या नेगेटिव जो हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस स्टोर हुआ था हम उसको दोबारा से यूज करते हैं टू डील विद दैट एक्सपीरियंस। ये जो चीज है ये हमारे शरीर के अंदर छोटी छोटी नॉट्स बना देती है, और जब छोटी छोटी नॉट्स बनाती है तो हमारा जो एनर्जी फ्लो है ऑफ द बॉडी दैट गेट्स इम्पैक्टेड, और उसकी वजह से हमारे जो functioning है of the body that does not remain optimum and we can attract a lot of diseases. Most of the chronic diseases happen because of this reason and cancer is one of them. I will give you a very small example. I hope कि आप सबने वो feel किया होगा so that you get it right. जब हम लोग बहुत परेशान होते हैं या बहुत ज़्यादा दुखी होते हैं और हमको कोई खाना खाने के लिए बोलता है तो हमको अपने यहाँ पे गले के अंदर फील होती है जैसे एक लंप जैसा है, और कोई बहुत फोर्स करता है तो हम कहते हैं कि नहीं अभी हमें खाना मत दो क्योंकि मैं बिल्कुल नहीं खा पाऊंगी। या you felt that lump when you are very sad and when you are very depressed and somebody wants to force food inside you. So now what is happening is that since you are feeling sad, आपका जो ब्रेन है बॉडी को ये सिग्नल देता है that it is not in a state to digest the food. So that signal is here impact करता है। तो हम जब उस स्टेट में खाना खाते रहते हैं अपनी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में in that state of anxiety, तो that food does not get digested properly. And when it does not get digested properly, it becomes acid in the body, which we call toxicity. And this toxicity is the reason for most of the chronic diseases which happen in the body. So this is just one very small example I gave you कि anxiety या गुस्सा या परेशानी होने से हम अपने शरीर को कितने फिजिकल वे में इम्पैक्ट करते हैं। और आजकल की जो जिंदगी है it is basically rotating around these negative emotions of anger, of anxiety, of guilt, of shame, of sadness all the time. So we keep our system in a state that it is the organs inside it are not able to function optimally. तो PNI जो therapy है, it basically helps a person to open these knots so that our mind is able to think positively and perceive incidents in a way which is good for our body. तो जब वो नॉट्स खुल जाती हैं तो उसके बाद आपका एनर्जी फ्लो ठीक हो जाता है एंड वी आर एबल टू गेट रिड ऑफ दीज डिजीजेस. तो आप लोगों ने
So now we are going to discuss about early diagnosis, like how we will understand that our body is sending us some signals. Okay, so we have termed it as caution, which means we have to be continuously cautious about whatever is going on in our body. So first is change in bowel or bladder habit. If you observe any kind of change in your like urination or in your stool movement, like for example, there is lots of bleeding or some kind of discharge, or if it is very painful, there is some kind of color change, then you might be at a higher risk factor. The next is a sore that does not heal. A sore can be in and around your mouth. It might be due to deficiency of vitamins in your body, which is naturally healed through the natural healing agents. But then if you consume tobacco related substances, then you might be at a high risk factor, because then your sore might increase day by day, and then there might be skin pelation, and there might be color change, and it will be very painful, and as a result it might transform into a tumor or a lump, or you might get a hole on your face. So imagine how painful that situation can be. So cancer, oral cancer is one of the the main risk factor, the main cancer in most of the males. Also nowadays in females, because nowadays females also have started smoking and drinking and taking the substances. So if you are taking these substances, please make sure that you try to leave it as soon as possible. The next is unusual bleeding or discharge. Unusual bleeding or discharge can be from anywhere of your body. It can be from the gums of your teeth. It can be from the nipple of your breast. So when I talk about bleeding or discharge from the nipple of your breast, then it is a symptom of breast cancer. And breast cancer might happen to male and female both. The next is unusual bleeding or discharge. So in that, if you're not feeling well and you had vomiting, and in vomiting also you found some kind of blood, so do not ignore it. These are the signals that your body is constantly trying to give it. The next is thickening or lump in the breast or elsewhere. So if you observe any kind of lump or tumor in your body, please immediately rush to doctor. The common mistake that we do with tumors is we think that there is no pain, so it is not at all harmful. But most of the tumors don't pain. And when I talk about tumors, there are two types of tumor. One is the malignant tumor, other one is the benign tumor. So malignant tumor are cancerous tumor which spreads rapidly in your body. But benign tumors are non-cancerous tumor which do not spread, but later on it might turn into cancerous tumor. That is very important for you to know. So when I talk about malignant tumor, if you have got malignant tumor, doctor might ask you to undergo 3 common treatments of cancer, that is chemotherapy, radiotherapy, as well as surgery. And for benign tumor, they can always go for a small surgery or some medication and it will heal you. But the better is always you should try to remove the tumor out of your body. Next is indigestion or difficulty in swallowing. So if you have indigestion problem, please try to change your lifestyle or your eating habit, because you do not get energy from the quantity of food you are eating. You will get energy from the quantity of food you are digesting. So it is very important for you to digest your food, otherwise your immune system will break down totally. The next is obvious change in the wart or mole. So mole is present in every human body, the black or the red dot. So if you observe that your mole is increasing day by day, if it is very painful, there is some kind of discharge, then you might be at a high risk factor. Next is nagging cough or hoarseness. So when we talk about cough or broken voice, then what happened? It is very common once in a 6 months due to dust allergy, or if you have consumed something very cold, you might get cough. But if your cough it is persistent and it's been 4 or 5 months, you still have cough, you're taking all the medicines and it is not working in your body, then immediately rush to a proper doctor, because somewhere it is also a risk factor for oral or lung cancer. So now we are going to discuss about risk factors for cancer. So when we talk about risk factor or cancer, we don't know that why exactly cancer happened to us. No one can say that like sugar, you can say that you were taking too much of sweets and something, that's why you got high blood pressure. You got stone in kidney because you were taking. So there are so many reasons that you can give it for other disease, but for cancer, no one can specifically tell that this was the reason that you got cancer. So there are various risk factors. So we don't know what are the reasons. So we need to know what are the risk factors. So if you follow this risk factor, you might be at a step closer to cancer. So the first risk factor is always tobacco use, including cigarette, cigar, marijuana, hookah, biri, smokeless tobacco, gutka, pan masala, tobacco itself, alcohol use. It comes in the top because 22% of Indian population is affected by cancer only due to consumption of these substances. So we should always know the fact that taking these substances causes 20 types of cancer, not one, not two, but 20 types of cancer. So it is very important that if you are taking this, try to understand that how you got into it and try to make a quick plan that how you can leave it. Because when you're investing on something and that thing is going to kill you in later life, then what is the point of taking those things? That is very important, because if you do not love your body, it is so obvious that your body will not love you back and your cells will start revolting around against you. The next is stress. So when we talk about stress, there are two types of stress. One is the eustress and other one is the distress. So eustress are generally considered as positive stress, such as you want promotion in your office, you will work really hard. You want to crack a competitive exam, you will be working very hard for that. So continuously we are putting effort on it. So we will have stress, but this stress makes you a better individual and help you to reach your goal. But stress that is out of anger, anxiety, depression, jealousy, hatred, this kind of stress might take a toll over you and it will release lots of negative hormones in your body. So that is the reason immediately when you imagine, like you realize that you are thinking negative, your thinking is getting negative, divert your mind. Do anything you love. Go for cooking, gardening, singing, dancing, painting, anything, but divert your mind from the negative thought. That will help you to make your body positive. Next is obesity and being overweight. So we all know that fats in our body means inviting lots of diseases in our body. So every human body has got a BMI, that is the body mass index. So if you're not aware of it, you can visit the nearest medical and you can check your BMI. So BMI says that according to your height and according to your age, you have to maintain a minimum healthy weight. So healthy weight doesn't mean you need to starve, or healthy weight doesn't mean you need to be very slim figure. No, healthy weight is according to your height and your weight. For example, if someone is 25 and they have a height of 5 feet, for example, and then like their minimum weight has to be 50 to 55 kg. If they are 80 kg, if they are 90 kg, they are an obese. The next is unhealthy diet with low fruit and vegetable intake. So it is very important to include lots of fruits and vegetable in our meal all the time. It is very, very important, because when you take fruits and vegetable, it helps in faster digestion, it boosts our immune system, and it makes our body alkaline. The next point is inadequate physical activity. So physical activity is very, very must for your body, because when you do physical activity, there is smooth functioning of your heart, smooth circulation of blood, and smooth flow of oxygen in your body. Next is lack of sleep. If you do not sleep properly on time, then also you might be at a higher risk factor. And the last one is sexually transmitted diseases. If you have any kind of sexually transmitted infections, then also you might be at a high risk factor. So when we talk about sleep, there are two types of people. One who will say that I have insomnia and I cannot, I cannot sleep. And the other category will be that, they will play games, they will watch television, they will watch series, they will keep on talking over phone, and they will not sleep by themselves. So which means that you are not taking care of your body. And why are you not able to sleep properly? What is going wrong? Why don't you sleep early? So these are some of the factors that you need to know. So here is a small video made by our founder on sleep. So I'm playing that video for all of you.
One of the very, very important things, or one of the very important factors in our wellness is our sleep. So a lot of people are talking about that you should sleep well if you need to remain in a state of wellness. Now it's not so easy that I tell you that you sleep well and you will start sleeping well from tomorrow. We need to look at our sleep patterns. If we have not been sleeping well, we need to understand as to where is it going wrong and how do I ensure a good sleep. So when we get up in the morning, do I feel groggy? Do I feel tired? Do I need that cup of tea or coffee necessarily, that cup of caffeine necessarily to kickstart my day? Or do I get up with that enthusiasm and happiness of a child? If I have been getting up in a state of grogginess as a pattern, I need to understand as to why it happened. Sleep being such an important factor in my wellness, because that is the time when the body recuperates, re-energizes. There are so many hormones which get released when we are sleeping. For example, the pituitary gland releases growth hormones, which are so important for our well-being. The cortisol, which is our stress hormone, the quantity of that reduces. The immunity system, it releases cytokines which fight inflammation. So sleep is a very important time of our life. So if we are not sleeping well, there could be three broad factors. One, we are not eating right. The second is that when we are approaching bedtime, we are approaching it with some issue opened in our life, some stress, some tension. The third is we have messed up our body clock for some reason. Like when we travel or when we travel abroad, we have a jet lag. So basically the body clock gets messed up. So about eating right, we must finish our dinner by 8 p.m. There has to be a gap of 3 hours between our dinner time and the bedtime. The other thing is we should be eating light. The food should be less on carbs and fats. Good dinner of rice and steamed vegetables or stir-fried vegetables, they work very well with a bowl of soup, just to give an example. The other is that we should be walking or doing some light exercise after our dinner. It could be dance, it could be just walking inside the house. The most important thing which is disturbing sleep of people these days is that we keep our laptops and our social media on in the night. So please take care that at least 1 hour before your bedtime you have switched off your social media and you are not working on your laptop.
So now we are going to discuss about the most common forms of cancer. So there are various forms of cancer, but there are top 5 cancers that is affecting the Indian population most. And the first one is breast cancer. As I said, that breast cancer might happen in male and female both. So if you observe any kind of tumor or lump in your breast, or if there is any kind of bleeding or discharge from the nipple of your breast, or one side of your breast is very painful as compared to the other side of your breast, then also you might be at a higher risk factor. The next is oral cancer. Oral cancer might happen to male and female both. So basically, if you consume any sorts of tobacco related substances, or let's say if you are taking something which is very cold or very hot, taking something is in an extreme temperature can also create scratches in your esophagus, and later on it might turn into infection, and then it might result to oral cancer. So whenever you are taking food, do not take it at an extreme temperature, not too frozen and not too hot. The next is cervical cancer. It is a women-centric cancer. So there are various risk factors for cervical cancer, because few of the gynecological cancer, you will never get symptoms. You will not get symptoms. So you need to know that, is this our risk factor that is somewhat matching to you? If it is so, please go and do screening at least once in a 6 months. Not only for them, but women who are above the age of 25 should always go for a self-screening test. Okay. So for breast, you have a self-screening. For cervical, you need to go to the hospital and you have to do it. So when we talk about the risk factor of cervical cancer, women who got married before the age of 18, women who got married by the age of 18 and then gave birth to a child before the age of 20-21, they might be at a high risk factor. Then women who indulge themselves in sexual activity before the age of 18, women who had a sexual relationship with multiple sexual partners, if there is pain during every sexual intercourse or painless bleeding during every sexual intercourse, then they might be at a higher risk factor. The next is gastric cancer. So gas is something all of us used to avoid. We don't care about gas in our body. Why? Because maybe we when we talk about gas, maybe somewhere we think that it is cured naturally, or we will take a medicine and end of the story. So what we do, we keep on taking medicine and other things, and then we follow the same unhealthy lifestyle. And as a result, what happened? The disease do not cure. It gets suppressed. And as a result, it might turn into gastric ulcer, and later on, it might turn into gastric cancer as well. And the last and the most dangerous form of cancer is lung cancer. So when we talk about lung cancer, it is generally seen in smokers who smoke a lot. So there are two types of smoker. One is the smoker who will light the cigarette themselves, they will smoke and they will harm their own body. And passive smokers are the one who do not smoke, who don't like smoking, but maybe they will be always standing in front of a smoker. Maybe let's say that smoker is their friend or their sibling or their husband, anyone. It can be anyone. So if you see that someone is lighting cigarette in front of you, please get out of the sight immediately. That is very, very important. And also, if you consume cigarette, your blood might become very toxic, which might later on might get transferred to your future child as well, your future generation. And as a result, they might get leukemia, that is known as blood cancer or brain tumor. Okay, so now there are 32.6 million 5-year cancer survivors worldwide, which means there are so many cancer survivors, which directly mean that cancer is not at all fatal if you work towards early diagnosis and its treatment. And it is a fact that we as an organization, we are working with cancer patients since last 8 to 9 years, and we understand that cancer does not mean death, but your ignorance might lead you to death. So if something abnormal happen in your body, please do not ignore it. That will be very harmful. So now moving to the second topic is COVID. So when we talk about cancer and COVID, so obviously when someone has cancer, their immune system is totally destructed. Their immune system is very weak at that point of time. So they might get COVID very easily. Not only someone who has got cancer, but anyone who has a major disease might be affected by COVID severely. COVID was such well explained to us that all of us know that how to, maintain it, how to maintain yourself, how to take precaution. We all know. But whereas in cancer, it is not yet properly highlighted, right? So now just let us go on a brief about the COVID-2, the phase 2. So SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes coronavirus disease in the year 2019. Okay, and in this case, what happened? It is the same COVID, but it is affecting your lungs a lot. Like it is the severe acute respiratory distress syndrome. It spread easily from person to person. And if your immune system is weak, then you might be at a high risk factor. So there are people who get COVID, they panic a lot. They get afraid, they get devastated because they think that they need to go to hospital and they need to take oxygen cylinder. But no, most of the cases can be settled down being at home itself. So when you get COVID, do not get hyper, do not get the hype. Okay, always be calm down, be sorted, and try to understand that do you actually need to go to the hospital? Because when you're going and taking a bed of a person, you're actually taking the bed of someone who actually need it. So try to calm yourself down first. That is very important. So now when we talk about COVID, if your immune system is strong, you might get COVID, but you will have mild symptom. If your immune system is weak, you might get COVID, but it will be a severe symptom. So what are the symptoms that you can be at home and you can cure, and what are the symptoms that you need to be hospitalized? First is fever. It is very common, cough and shortness of breath. So we all know that this is the common symptom of COVID. And whenever you have cough, always you will have difficulty in breathing. That is very natural. Okay. In the other side, there are some common symptoms as well, such as sore throat, runny or stuffy nose. There is some kind of body aches or chills. Like for example, your fever is all okay, but still you're having that chill feeling. Fatigue or diarrhea or nausea, or if there is any sorts of loss or smell or taste. Now, there are some severe symptoms that you need to know is difficulty in breathing or shortness of breath, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, new confusion or inability to arouse, and any kind of bluish lips or face you get it, then you might be at a high risk factor and you need to rush to doctor immediately. Now, corona panic is a bigger threat than coronavirus, and it is a fact because the disease might not be this big, but the way people are panicking, it is making it more worse. Okay, so on an individual level, when we talk about COVID, we start abusing the government, we start abusing the doctor, nurses, or really people of some religion, or maybe someone who is traveling. So before blaming someone, try to understand what are you doing on an individual level. Are you giving your 100% to eradicate this disease? If not, so what you can do as an individual? First, always be informed and be prepared. From where you will get oxygen cylinder, where is the hospital, where is the doctor, where the RT-PCR test is done, what are the medication. Be informed, have a knowledge about it, because information is never less or it never goes wrong. You can use it somewhere or the other. Information is very important, and be prepared that if you get, you will not panic, because most of the time when you get it, we panic, and as a result we don't get the breath and we go to hospital and take oxygen. So when you're prepared for it, you can calm yourself down at that particular moment. And when you're taking vaccine, don't think that I have taken vaccine, so COVID will not happen to me. It might happen to you, but not in a severe way. Next is wear a mask. Then try to maintain social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use alcohol-based sanitizer, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, stay home when you're sick, cough or sneeze into a tissue or your elbow. So here is a picture given how you need to sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touch objects and surfaces such as cell phones. Seek information from credible sources. That is very important. Don't share meme or poster shared by your good friend or your best friend. Try to always understand that where are the sources from? Is it from WHO? Is it from ICMR? From where? Until and unless you don't know that, please do not share unverified information on social media, because people used to panic a lot. Okay, so now there are 5 steps to proper hand washing. First is you have to wet your hands with clean running water. Lather your hands by rubbing them together with the soap. Lather the back of your hands between your fingers and under your nails. Scrub your hands for at least 20 seconds. That is very important. And then again wash your hand and try to dry them with clean towel. Now what to do if you're tested COVID positive and you are at home, you are not in hospital. So first thing, as I already mentioned, stay calm, because most of the cases don't require hospitalization. Inform the authority about everything. Share your details, requirement, and situation with the doctor. And when you are diagnosed with COVID, if you have bathroom in your home, that is very good. But if you have one bathroom attached to any room, take that room if you're positive. And whenever you go to the bathroom, use your mask and go, and let the other person also use mask and enter the thing. That will help this disease to stop, and it will not spread. So that is very essential. And for 10 days you have to just rest and relax, because normal fever, cough, it can be cured in 4 or 5 days, maximum 7 days. But when we talk about COVID, it might take 1 month as well, 2 months as well. So you never know. So for 10 days, total rest is very important for your body. In that time, try to have lots of vitamin C tablets. If you don't want to go for tablets, try to go for lemon water, at least 3 to 4 glasses every day. And also kadha, that is, you can take a bowl, put some water in it, put black pepper, then add cinnamon, cardamom, and cloves, and ginger piece, and boil that water and take it. It is known as kadha. That helps to boost your immune system. The next is, try to carry a oximeter with you, but always remember, oximeter always doesn't show the correct reading. So if you check your oxygen level, and if it is less than 94, it is a risk factor. So now try to rub your hands, or try to do some breathing exercise, and try to check again. At least check for 3 to 4 times, and then still if it is less than 94, then consult your doctor immediately. And then next is, your fever will last hardly for 3-4 days. But if it is more than 3 days and it is more than 101 degree Fahrenheit, then you need to go to proper medication, because medication while this period, it is very, very important, because it is not as normal as any other disease that you will take just a simple medicine and it will work. It has a different thing, that for 1 week you need to take a particular medicine, after 1 week you will be suggested other medicine. It is based on your city value. That is very important. So always try to take the proper medicine. Just, okay, I am having little fever, I am bringing paracetamol and I'm taking it, but what about the antibiotics? So it is very important that consult your doctor and then only take this thing. And now here is a small video that how you need to interact with the COVID positive patients. Okay, so I'm playing that video for all of you. So thank you so much, everyone. This was all about cancer prevention and healthy lifestyle. So if you have any question, you can please drop down in the chat box. And in the meantime, I'm sharing the feedback link with all of you. Please fill up the feedback link. That will help us to give the e-certificates. So here is the feedback link. Please fill up the feedback link. That will help us to provide you the e-certificates. No. Girls, there is a question that girls who are having problems with periods are more prone of COVID. No, not at all. It is nothing related to periods and all. COVID is just on your immune system. See, you need to take precaution out of it, and you need to boost your immune system. Eat lots of fruits and vegetable and healthy food. For at least for some period of time, avoid the junk food, outside food, or avoid the fast food, packet food. Try to go very healthy. Okay. Problem in periods has no relation with COVID. Yeah, so Litha, now you can take over, please.
Hello, Afrina. Afrina. Hello. Afrina,
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
you can conclude the session.
Afrina, do you have some network issues?
No, ma'am, I can hear you.
Okay.
Now I cordially invite IQAC coordinator and Maths department faculty, Dr. Nitin DJ, to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay, one correction, I am not IQAC coordinator, I am co-coordinator. Okay. So, Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Sumki Begum, respected Principal Dr. Sister Irene, our beloved Women's Cell Coordinator and Mathematics Department HOD, Ms. Smita Davies, respected teachers and my dear students. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. So in this session, we have learned about diseases like cancer and COVID, and we have a better understanding of the. Is it audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
it is audible.
Okay. So now we have a better understanding of the cancer and COVID situations. So, and we came to know more about this organization Sanjeevani. So this session was a fruitful one. So without wasting any more time, let me do my duty. So I, on behalf of IQAC, first of all, extend a very hearty thanks to our chief guest, Ms. Sumki Begum, for giving us precious and valuable time from her busy schedule. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing a lot of information which will truly help us in our life. Thank you, ma'am. And also I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Sister Irene, for her guidance and moral support. Thank you, sister. I also extend our sincere gratitude to the Women's Cell Coordinator and Mathematics Department HOD, Ms. Smita Davies, for making this webinar possible. Thank you, Smita ma'am. A big thanks to all the teachers and students who really work hard for this webinar. Thank you all. Also, thank you all the participants for participating and making this webinar a success. Thank you all. So once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful vote of thanks. So with this, we have come to the end of the session. And I hope every one of you have filled up the feedback link. Please fill up the feedback link. That will give us the opportunity to provide you the e-certificates. And also I want to just highlight that we also provide virtual internship. So if you feel that cancer is a cause and you want to work for this cause, then feel free to contact us at our helpline number, which I'm mentioning again. It is 8691 000 800 8691 000 801. Okay, so with this, we are concluding the session. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and please take care of yourself. Have a great day.
Thank you all.